Hi guys, PJ here. Today we are looking at the new release of Layers of Fear and we're on a Ryzen 2700. So that's a 8-core 16-thread CPU combined with a GTX1660ti. That's a 6GB graphics card, but not RTX. So in other words, you can't use DLSS and such like. It's running pretty much in its raw form. Now I've loaded into the game as it sort of detects the card. Now you'll notice GPU's at 99% and the CPU's at, well, has highs of about 35%, so it's on tick over basically. It seems to be a bit GPU limited. 4.3 gigabytes of VRAM used. All the CPU cores seem to be evenly-ish spread. And we're using just over 8 gigabytes of RAM. Let's have a look at the setting the game has detected for us. Now this isn't a fast-paced game, this is a slow investigate things, look at stuff, but it is quite nice. It does have some nice lighting effects. So let's see what graphics we're looking at. What I'll do, I'll show you the graphics and then I'll go through everything after that. So we're on 1440p at the moment. Obviously you can go all the way down to 720p should you wish, 1080p, 900p, etc. is all covered on this. We have full screen on and off, which is basically borderless full screen. VSync on and off, keeping it off for this so you can see the FPS readout. Frame rate limit is up to 120, so if you've got 144 Hz display you're going to sort of drop below that. Quality, now we're defaulted to high look. We've got automatic, custom and low and medium. So if we go to custom and then HDR mode on and off, it's greyed out because I've got HDR disabled in Windows. So if you want HDR in this game and your monitor supports it, just in fact like the monitor I've got which supports HDR, you need to enable it in Windows. Not the best implementation if I'm completely honest, so just bear that in mind. Gamma screen there to adjust your gamma, ray tracing on and off. So if you've got an RTX 2060 or above, you can turn ray tracing on. Very heavy performance penalty. I've tried it on the 2060. You can run it, lock 30 FPS, decent settings with ray tracing, and pretty much all is good. Looks nice. TSR on and off there. Temporal super resolution, again very high on the GPU. Bearing in mind that we are currently GPU limited, so turning that on would be pointless. If you've got a 2060 or above, you know, 4060, 3060, whatever, you know, you can turn DLSS on for quality or normal. Massive FPS boost, guys. I'd highly recommend you stick it on quality and run that. If you're running an Intel card, we've got the XeXSS on and off, which is nice. That does work pretty well, actually. I know one person with one of those cards, and they're quite pleased with it. AMD FSR2. It works, it increases your frame rate, but it does give a bit of a sort of shadowy, jagged edge to everything. So we've tried this on an RX 580, 8GB, and yes, the frame rate's really good, but it looks a bit smudged. So have a look at that one yourself. Advanced, so we've got view distance, it's all low, medium, high, look. There you go. Anti-aliasing. So low is basically going to be, you know, more blocky on the diagonal edges, etc. Textures, well, we don't want them on low, we can have them on high. We've just reset everything from high when we load it in. Anti-aliasing, we can put on medium there. Shadows, put on medium. This is my ideal settings, yeah. The shadows are quite taxing on the GPU, so are textures. Global illumination, reflections, effects, post-processing, foliage, gotta have your foliage, haven't you guys, so it looks nice. Shading, bloom on and off, lens flare on and off, motion blur on and off. Film grain, I'm never a fan of the grainy picture. Sharpening, don't need to touch any of that, so there we go. Let's have a quick look at that. So we gained a bit of FPS there, dialing a couple of bits back to medium. You know, the detail is nice. I mean, if you look at that bottle, that's quite a nice detail, in my opinion. But 42 FPS when we loaded in on the high setting, we were around 30, 35 FPS. There is no run in this game. Well, not that I found anyway. You can sort of click and move a bit quicker, but I won't call it a run, more like a jog. Piano detail there, look very nice. Again, holding the FPS pretty well. Not too bad. I sort of stay in this area because it's a nice looking area. There's a lot of dark sections to the game. Like I say, it's very slow paced, you know, it's horror, it's meant to be that way. And it's not really my scene. Like I say, I've played a bit of it and it was like, well, it's okay. But compared to other horrors, sort of a 6, 7 out of 10 overall the game. Let's have another quick look at other settings so you can see what they are. We're using 4 gig of VRAM, look guys, so if you're on an old GTX970 you got a problem because they only got 3.5 gigabytes of usable VRAM. You've gone over it and it'll be very slow. So other settings, gameplay, obviously lots of languages. Flick through them quickly in case that's why you're on here. And there we go. Safe mode on and off. It's to prevent enemies from killing you. Bit strange that if you're on a horror game. Crosshairs, interactions, etc, etc. Turn all this on and off as you will. Sound, yeah, it's not surround sound, but it is stereo and it's that monaural. So in other words, if you've got a headset on, it sounds very, very nice ear to ear. So in other words, worth playing it on a headset. It sounds very, very good. Controls, PlayStation controller, Xbox controller, keyboard, mouse, all works absolutely fine and does read the buttons correctly. And accessibility, we have all these options. Not too bad. But guys, that's it. Quick video for this one just to show you the game, see how it runs. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.